Yo, tune in, tune in, tune in, tune in, tune in. This week in car audio. Tune in, tune in, tune in, tune in. We'll be talking about bass, talking about chips, talking about rings. You ain't got them, zip your lip. You got a problem you haven't found, check your grounds. The show about to start. Tune in, 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 tune in. This week in car audio. Yeah. Tune in. This week in car audio.
Welcome to This Week in Car Audio with your host, the Judge, Doug Stockton, co-hosted by Jeffrey, the superstar. Flew out to California to come check us out again. So, Jeffrey, how's it going?
It's going good. Yeah,
Good to
that
hear.
trip, man, it was pretty wild, but it was all in good fun. I had a good time.
That's good to hear. We got Barbados checking in already from both locations there, the wife, the husband, two of our newer judges. Did you have a show this weekend?
Yeah.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about that while I'm sharing it?
Oh, I just sorry, I just hit something and I'm okay. Here we go. I'm back. Okay. Yeah. So this past Saturday in I think it's the city's called Del Valle. It's near Austin, Texas, I should say. We had a 1X DB drag racing event sponsored by Stinger Electronics as well as G's Audio. This was in conjunction of G's 7th anniversary celebration they were having there. They had free food, free drinks, and I want to let you guys know we had some special guests that showed up. Believe it or not, we
Other
had
than Roger?
well, Roger didn't even show up. But it was actually about 3 hours south of where we are here. But
Okay.
the special guest, just to kind of give you a clue, was they live in Austin. That gives you any kind of
Oh,
clue.
so maybe a little Wayne and Celise show up.
Well, not only did Wayne and Celeste show up, but also they brought Cody. Cody showed up too.
Cool.
I don't think I've ever met him in person. I just seen pictures and what Wayne and Celeste talk about him, and I was like, oh, okay. There was this guy wearing a DB drag shirt. I was like trying to put my finger. Who is this guy? Oh, it's got to be Cody. But they came out, supported the show. I didn't even know they were going to come with gifts. They actually, as a token of their appreciation, they gave Gil, who's the owner of G's Audio, a DB drag racing jersey.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a token of their appreciation, which was cool. And they also provided a couple of shirts for a couple of special awards for the event, like Loudest of the Day went to Jennifer Jillian. I think she's a local out there. She hasn't done any of the shows up here in Dallas, but she won best loudest of the day, I should say. And then another shirt that they provided was going to best of show, which went out to, I think, a first time competitor out there, Angel Lopez, who had a good time. Yeah, so I was totally surprised we had some special guests for the event, but hopefully I was told by the sponsor of the event that in the future we're going to have more events, hopefully a 2X or a 3X coming up pretty soon.
So that was a 1X event?
Yes, that was a 1X event.
Okay. And Calvin didn't support it or make it a triple X or nothing like that, huh?
Calvin? No, unfortunately, no.
All right. No, that's okay. Anyway, want to shout out to our sponsors, Crossfire Car Audio and Puns Customs. Once again, if you guys want to support somebody that supports the things that you like to hear and see and do, support those who support what the programs and stuff you like. So in this situation, it's Crossfire Car Audio and Puns Customs. All right, our other guest judge this week, Mr. Wyatte Meier. Wyatte, how's things going?
Pretty good. Things are starting to warm up around here for us. Finally hitting some 70-degree days. Today, not so much, but getting there. Working on getting toward our first show here on the 20th. Yep, 20th of May.
Uh-huh.
So that'll be a 3X show here in Wisconsin.
That'll be our kickoff day out in Reno, and Jeffrey will be doing a multi-point, Jeff, down in Southern California, or is it single X?
Which day exactly was it?
May
again?
20th.
May 20th. Yes, it's a triple point event in what they're now calling Bloomington. It was originally called Bloomington, but now since we've had a couple of 3Xs there, they're calling it Bloomington. So Bloomington, California.
Nice.
So, hey, maybe we can convince Wayne to get the program up and maybe do some little online exhibition, like, a single run in Top Dog or something, or base race.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
Nice.
Mhm.
If Wayne and Celeste can get around to getting that done, that'd be awesome. Anyways, yeah, so you got Frost off going. Remember, guys, if you want to ask any questions, now's a great time. If we can answer your questions, we can answer them to the best of our abilities. Once again, we are not seeing these vehicles. We are only going by what you tell us. We can't give you a definitive answer on this stuff, but we can give you our best understanding of what you are telling us. I do want to talk about the Sky High Barbecue this weekend. I don't know if you guys have seen any videos yet, but Benjamin Barnett, who was on the show, 5-6 weeks ago or whatever, dude, did you see his? He's got a hearse.
Oh yeah, he was the guy like giving out the crazy demos.
The brutal demos.
Brutal demos.
Oh yeah, did you see the one where about ripped off Gately's shirt?
Yeah, I saw Gately do a demo in that car. He looked like he wanted to tap out like right away, but
but he stuck in there.
Did it. Oh yeah.
And I believe he is gonna come after the DD's Tanks record.
Wow.
In DB drag at the next multi-point out here in California.
Wow.
So
that is gonna be crazy. I hope he could do 20 hertz, which I'm pretty sure he can.
Did you see that thing? It was nasty. Did you happen to see that, Wyatte?
No, I didn't, unfortunately.
If you get a chance, go and check that out. It's quite impressive. Calvin says that's all Jeff wanted. Gately's shirt ripped off. That's funny stuff right there. But yeah, no, I mean that was brutal demos that thing was putting out. Yeah. I know he was trying to get it ready for Autorama, and it just wasn't in the cards. That is an all steel extreme car. So definitely, the box is made out of steel. The inside of the car is made out of. That is literally the cabin's made out of steel. It is 100% polished steel, speaker-driven box. So I can't wait to see that and check it out. I'm sure that's going to be really cool to check it out and do his attempt at beating the world record in Cyclone Demo Extreme. Anyway, judging things. So Jeffrey, you were at my 3X here in California. Yes. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about some of the stuff you saw.
A couple of things that I think probably just needed to get a little bit clarified was the use of tape. I don't know if you noticed that. Yeah, a lot of people were kind of lining their whole dash with tape, which in the rules, you're only allowed to tape vents. So aside from vents, you can't tape up a gaping hole where your head unit used to be,
Mm-hmm. Or a hole in you can't tape over like the cup holders in your center console.
Right. Yeah. Right. Some stuff like that. So just the use of tape in general, I kind of noticed, but everybody was really cool with it. They were able to, take it off. Nobody complained. They were all compliant, which was cool.
You have your rule book handy right there, Jeff?
Oh yeah.
Can you read the tape rule real quick while I read this up here? So it says, Calvin says, so they're calling it a thirst, the tank Hurst. So
Wow.
I don't think that's what they call it. But yes, that is. And Tristan says, yeah, that was a nasty demo. Absolutely was. Justin Stolman popping in right here. What had me was when it was coming off the trailer. Oh, yeah. They obviously, so our CRX, we lost our ramps for our trailer. Even in what it weighed in our Extreme CRX, we broke the ramps, and obviously that hearse weighs considerably more. And yeah, he's gonna have to figure out a way to support those ramps.
Wow,
On that
those
trailer.
ramps are steel, right?
Yes, they are. They're just angle steel, quarter-inch angle steel.
Oh, okay.
So if you,
Angle.
a lot of times, what some guys do with the heavier vehicles is they'll put like floor jacks under the midpoint of the ramp, so it won't buckle there. So
That's
um,
crazy. That's a lot of weight.
Oh,
it is
yeah.
a lot of weight. So what does the rule read, Jeffrey?
So rule, I guess if we want to get technical here, 3-E, 3-8E, it says here, contestants may temporarily use tape within the listening compartment to seal only their air conditioning vents, heater vents, sunroofs, driver side, passenger side windows when competing, provided no other applicable rules are violated. The maximum tape overlap permitted outside of the specific area being covered is 2 inches, 5.08 centimeters.
Okay.
And let me add here, contestants may temporarily use tape on the outside of their vehicle to seal and or secure the windshield, window, hatches, doors, sunroofs, etc., provided no other applicable rules are violated.
Okay. So go back there to the 2 inches. So read that portion again.
The maximum tape overlap permitted outside of the specific area being covered is 2 inches.
Okay. So how do you understand that rule, Wyatt? Are they allowed 2 inches on each side or 2 inches total?
2 inches on each side, basically using the mic jig, go from the, I forget how we kind of talked about it at finals last year. It was from the door seal, I believe, up 2 inches, so a mic jig width, and then you flip the mic jig down and they get 2 inches in the opposite direction as well. So technically 4 inches, but 2 inches of overlap on either side of the seal, or the, where the glass meets the door, whatever.
And so I believe the way Jeffrey and I were judging it at Autorama was 2 inches total, right, Jeff?
No, it was 2 inches on either side. So
Okay.
essentially, where the glass, I think, met the body of the vehicle, whatever you were trying to seal off, you can go 2 inches up, 2 inches down.
Okay. That's
Which
okay.
I mean, people were okay with that. Also, they were
Yeah.
ripping it off and then being totally compliant.
Yeah. I will say of the California competitors versus East Coast competitors when I did events out there, the California guys, they're like, okay, sure, no problem. I'm going to take care of it right now. And they're, I mean, not that all the East Coast guys don't do that, but there are quite a few that will, well, no, that's not, and they argue with you about how the rule is. I don't get that as much here on the West Coast, I will say. Calvin saying Jeff always brings duct tape to Vegas and offers me drinks. Weird. I'm guessing that's for some little stuff after hours, huh, Jeff?
I do not know what Calvin is talking about.
So where do you sit, Wyatt? With what do you think some of the emphasis? So we saw the duct tape. That was probably our biggest discussion at R3X. Anything else you really saw, Jeff? I mean, everybody else was.
And luckily, tape's one of those things that's pretty easy to take care of, right?
Yes.
I mean, as opposed to if someone built a box that doesn't fit, or they've, modified the vehicle in another way, tape's one of those things that it's easy enough to say, hey, rip that off and you're good to go, right? So.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and there was another thing too that I wanted to mention was the conductor rule.
Yes.
Yeah, there was a few competitors that were in the Pro Stock class that had more than the allowed.
Well, one
two
guy had
conductors.
8 conductors.
Yeah, it was just like, yeah, it was a lot of wires, and it was just a matter of pointing it out to him in the rule book, and he was totally fine with it. I think he might have been, maybe it's not really a first time competitor, maybe a rookie competitor.
It was his first time in that class.
Okay.
He competed last year, but it was all in like no wall and stuff like that.
Where you're allowed to have
unlimited
limited,
conductors.
yeah.
Yeah. Tiffany says, first Calvin says Mario's a witness. And then Tiffany says she waits patiently every week for Calvin's commentary. So
yeah, Calvin gets the viewers, I guess, right?
He does.
He gets the ratings.
He gets the ratings.
I'll need to thank him later.
So the tape, and then the conductor rule. So the way Jeffrey and I understand the conductor rule, and just tell us if it's different for you, Wyatt. You're only allowed 2 conductors from the amp. So I only have to clamp 1 conductor and probe 1 conductor, positive, negative. 1 positive, 1 negative conductor. So so even if that comes off the amp 4 inches, so we can clamp and do that, and then you go 16 wires from those little 4-inch tails, we should be good, right? Because it's just the conductor rule is only off the amp.
Yeah, so that's interesting because I've seen it the opposite way. So if a competitor has a 2-channel amp or 2 amps that aren't strapped, I guess that wouldn't work in this scenario, right? But say they have a 2-channel amp or something along those lines, right? I've had competitors where I say, oh yeah, you're right. Sorry, I'm thinking about it backwards. Exactly. So I tell them, usually I advise them the same thing, right? If they have 4 wires coming out of their amp, usually they're using a monoblock, so it doesn't matter anyway.
Right.
But they're doing it because they have 2 subwoofers, right? And it just makes sense, right? To wire it that way. And I just say, hey, find someone with some speaker wire and some wire nuts, and just take 2 out of the amp, just like you said, go a few inches, and then tie them together and go to your subs from there, right? So, I mean, definitely limit. Like I've had some guys come in with 2 amps. Well, there's really not much you can do there because you can't combine them, or, whatever the case is. And so then I usually go, well, can you strap them? Maybe they can't for that show, but for the next show they can, have them linked together and only have 1 set of wires going out. So, same way as you guys.
Okay, cool. That's very interesting. So I want to pull up this comment real quick. Justin Stolman says, "I got a 55-inch for you, free 99." So,
cool.
So he's got a 55-inch TV. So Jeffrey and I were, or Jeffrey wasn't. I was setting up on Sunday morning, and I put my monitor on the table, and I went and did something. A gust of wind came up, knocked my monitor over, and smashed it. So just for you guys that want to know, so here's the thing is, and I don't understand why the other judges don't know this. I go on Marketplace for $60. I got a 55-inch TV.
Yeah.
For another $30, I got a 43-inch smart TV off of Marketplace, and both already with wall mounts. So I welded up a wall mount onto one of my tripods for my monitor speakers. So now on a tripod, I got a TV mount. So
maybe it's just your area. Maybe my area out here, I don't really see that many TVs on Marketplace.
Like I said, Justin said he's got one for 55-inch. I'm not opposed to taking it. I'll put it in my stack, and when I break one, I'll use that one next. So with that being said, since I did break one at the last show, looks like we're doing a TV toss at Jay's Alarms on Friday night.
Oh, nice.
So have you ever seen one of my TV tosses, Wyatt?
No.
Yeah, so we basically just take a TV, we take a square. Have you ever did a radio toss?
No.
Oh, so if you want to have fun at one of your shows, what you do is you go into the shop and you ask them for a stock radio, right? One of the, they pulled out of a 2000 Dodge Caravan, right? and it's just sitting in there, collecting dust. And what you do is you make a square that's about double the size of the radio, and you put back 15, 20 feet, and people try and throw up radio and make it stop within that square. And you give them some dumb prize like a rubber ducky or something. And the people love it. It's really it's a lot of fun, and it's fun to watch, and it gives you as a judge a chance to do something else. Maybe you're setting up your trophies, so you can do it before you do your trophy ceremony or right before you go into brackets. That way, you can have somebody, whoever's running your computer, step aside and start putting together trophies while you're doing the TV toss.
I will tell you though, if you are assisting in the TV toss, so wear some gloves, because those sometimes those TVs like to shatter in a bunch of pieces. So when you're picking it back up to bring it to the next person, you might get cut.
Brandy says the TV toss was a lot of fun. She's been part of one here before. And then Calvin says, Jeff, we should do midget tossing out here. Was he trying to say you? I'm just
Come
curious.
on, Calvin. It was that one time. It was one time. Okay.
Just because the one time you did it doesn't mean we get to do it all the time. So I mean, that, like I said, on a judging standpoint, it frees you or your computer guy up to do other things that are, labor intensive a little bit, really, so it's helpful to do. And like I said, I mean, I get TVs for almost nothing, and I break them all the time. I break 1 or 2 a year, but I'm spending $30 to $60 a TV. If I break a TV, I break a TV, right?
I don't think I'd feel safe going to places where I would get a $60 TV around here.
Well, it's probably not safe going where I go to get those either. But I'm a grown ass man, and I make grown ass man decisions. So if they bite me in the ass, then that's on me. So.
Do you remember the Big Okie?
Yeah, I talk to him still like once a month.
From Germany. At his shows, he used to, and I don't know if we can get away with that over here, but so you did this contest where you would hold out a subwoofer in front of you, like I don't know if it was like a really heavy one, and the person who would hold it the longest would win. So it was like a little side contest, but yeah, I don't know. I just see all kinds of liabilities there that I, would rather probably not do. But he had an interesting one, to say the least.
I mean, you could literally do that with a book. It's not the weight; it's the leverage. It's about the leverage, right? So so you're taking this thing that weighs nothing and it's close to your body.
Okay.
Right? And now you
Tucking
stick
your
it
elbows,
fully out.
maybe?
Yeah. So now you stick it fully out. It doesn't matter if it weighs 2 pounds. I mean, you just try to hold your hands out here like this for as long as you can, and 5 minutes in, your freaking hands are starting to drop. So, it's not about the weight; it's about the leverage. So,
maybe I should try it then.
Sype Morrison on here. He's the guy who made our. He has the lyrics to the intro and the outro. Sype Morrison popping in. He says, "You're rich. You can afford it." That's right. I can afford $30 a year for TVs.
Rich guy.
Justin Stolman, Lots of Watts guy, and Justin Stolman's LLC Transportation. He is. I'm trying to do a 3X here in NorCal, end of August, Saturday or Sunday. That doable on your calendar. It is if you check my calendar. My calendar is pretty much, it's right online. You can go to sonicfxaudio.com, click on upcoming events, and you can see my whole calendar right there. So, Jeffrey, do you still use that page?
Which one? On
Have you seen mine? Yeah. Where it has all your events that you've ever done? Mm-hmm. Oh, so do you use that on your website so people can see your upcoming events and stuff?
Yeah, I forgot what it's called.
It's like a judging history.
Yeah, it's like judging history or something like that. Yeah.
Do you have one of those, Wyatt, or no?
I mean, I have my account, but I don't know that I've ever. I mean, they're on the calendar. I don't know what
Okay.
you guys are referring to, though.
Yeah, you kind of have to look for it. I don't think it's like readily available. I
It's a
think
hidden link.
yeah, it was like one time I found it and I'm like I gotta
You gotta save
favorite
it.
this, and
Yes.
I saved it on my cell phone. So every time I need it,
Let me
I'll
see
bring it up.
here.
It's a good way of like looking at past events you've done, and
Yeah.
just in case you need to look back on a competitor and he was saying, "Oh, I did that last show. I forgot what it was." And,
Oh, well, I use it for, hey, what show were you at
mhm.
where you used the wrong name? Because at the end of the year, we
Oh,
got to fix all those
yeah.
names, right? Let me see if I can't do this real quick. YouTube. Nope, that's not the one I want. Video. Nope, that's not it either. It's got to be video. All right, second screen. Bam. Oh, yeah, I don't want to do that because that's my cyclone one. There we go. So I have it up there now. And then you're going to click on, bam, upcoming events on my Sonic FX page. And then if you go here, you're going to see these are all my upcoming events that I've already got on the calendar. And then these are my from 21. This is from 21 season, 20 season.
Oh, on the top of the page it says official agent.
Oh, is that what it is?
I wonder if that's a way where you could kind of like find it.
Yeah. Anyway, you can go all the way down to all these events that
There it is,
I've ever
official
done.
agent.
Yes, sir. So you can go all the way back down to here. It's got 2003 on here, but I do have shows on my thing all the way to 2001. So let me go back to here. But anyway, so that's how you find it. If you want to see my particular calendar. But it's super simple because I put it on my website or on my Facebook page, and that way people can just click on it and they can see all the show information for all of my personal shows.
Yeah, it's a good marketing tool. Also,
Yes.
if you want to, maybe a prospective, shop, you could just send them that link and say, "Hey, these are the shows I've done."
Yep.
So they know you're legit.
Hey, so anybody in the comments, if you guys have any questions about rules, that's what we're here for tonight. We're going to be doing rules-related questions. Anything that you think you're going to be needed to look at this year, Wyatt?
I'm going to be honest. Quite a few of my guys have decided they're just going to jump in Super Street X. So,
cool.
Not a whole lot I got to look at in that case. There are some guys that wanted to make some more extreme modifications. They were blowing their cars apart and stuff, and they're like, I want to, seal the sunroof, and I want to foam behind my dash, and I want to do this stuff. And I'm like, Super Street X, go for it. So
it's super simple.
Exactly.
The cool thing is we're not excluding them from building it the way they want. It just means they can't might not be able to play in the class they want to play in, but we're definitely not excluding them from any of the competition. They just have to change classes.
Right.
Yeah. So what about the OG class, 10K OG?
Yeah, I've been trying to kind of socialize the rules and stuff with my guys here. I don't know if I'll have anyone that falls into that. It just kind of depends. A lot of guys kind of just show up to the first show and are like, "Hey, I was in this last year.
Yes.
Can I still be in it?" Right. But I haven't heard anything on if anyone is specifically going to build or kind of aim for that class.
And the daily driven vehicles that attend California, they really fit into that 10K OG pretty easily too. So, just saying.
I think a lot of guys around here, the 2 conductor limit would be what would probably get them. Most of my guys that are running that kind of power aren't running a single amp, or I guess a few of them have a couple amps strapped.
Yep.
That are probably close to that, but a lot of guys are running like 2 5Ks or 2 8Ks or something along those lines, right? So, but yeah, I'll just have to see, I guess, what everyone comes up with. I know quite a few guys were rebuilding for this year. I had a lot of new guys last year that came, had a good time, and got to know kind of how the rules are and how they can better build for this year. So hopefully see them a little more competitive in their classes. So.
Cool. Ethan Mendez, I'm not sure how much you paid him, Jeffrey. Says, why is Jeff so cool? And Jeff is super cool.
It's like I don't know. All my fans are coming out today, right?
Yep.
Ethan's a good guy. He was at the last show out here in Texas in Del Valle.
Mm-hmm.
He competed in a few classes. He also got a bunch of people to compete with him as well. So he was.
Awesome! So he's
he
going to
was my
become your
ambassador.
new. He's going to become your Moses Martinez, huh?
Maybe not as character-y, but definitely he'll help out. Anybody, you just got to ask him. I know he's a big dude. He's kind of intimidating. Ethan is, but he's a real softy. Just he was telling people like Mel Valadez was also. He was just kind of like showing people, hey,
yep,
this is all you need to do. It's really easy. So
and guys like that are invaluable to an event. I mean, they're the ones who bring the people on. Mm-hmm. Calvin says, Ethan, stop lying, or does Jeff have a gun pointed at you? Okay, so Montana says, elaborate on the OG class, and he says, a lot. So are you familiar, Wyatte, with the OG and want to go over it, or Jeffrey? Which one of you guys? Why don't you go, Wyatte?
I just replied to his comment with kind of the summary of what we outlined before.
So why don't you go over that outline so that the people that listen back on the podcast on the audio version can hear what it is.
Sure. Yeah. So, I mean, it's very similar to the other Super Street classes, right? But we wanted to kind of limit the number of modifications and kind of bring it back. So, the big thing is the power limit, right? So it's a Super Street class, but it has a 10K power limit. So you got to watch. I was just mentioning the conductor rule. Mm-hmm. So you got to be thinking about that piece, right? So you can either run 2 amps strapped, or you can run one single amplifier, but that's it. Right. And then no floor cuts, no under vehicle build down, none of that extra stuff. Everything has to stay, inside the vehicle. Sound damping, originally in the post 1/4 inch. That's going to apply to our other classes as well now. Mm-hmm. But that 1/4 inch of sound dampening, single windshield, 60 hertz max, factory headliner, OEM seats. You can still remove them like you can in the other classes. And then, we had the must still have the airbag requirement as well.
Driver and passenger both.
Yep.
Yeah, that's real simple, 60 hertz cap. So remember that you can't play over 60 hertz in that class. So that's one of the other things. It's like I said, it's really trying to get back to more of a ground pounder type thing. That's the 60 hertz cap. The 1/4 inch sound deadener.
No.
You want to respond to this, Jeffrey? Calvin says 1/4 inch sound dampening on top of 1/4 inch steel. Is that okay?
Come on, man. Just read your comment out loud. See if it makes sense. See if it makes sense to you, Cal.
Yeah. See if you go,
steel.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you.
But Fred is actually a competitor out here in Texas.
Okay.
He actually won street stock a few World Finals ago. So he's really looking for that next class for him, because obviously he can't continue competing in the street stock. So he's really looking into the OG class, because he's kind of an OG also.
That's cool. Like I said, I think it's a decent class, especially for the guys that have the daily drivers and show up there. I'm really like I said, after seeing that Hearst, I'm really can't wait to see the that Ben Barnett's Hearst in person and at my next multi-point up there. So that should be pretty cool. And then I'm gonna have to, he literally has been texting me, sending me pictures throughout the build because he wants to make sure that it fits within the extreme rules. He also has been sending stuff out to Ray Choi, stuff I'm not sure about. And like I said, he's spent an exorbitant amount of time trying to confirm that that is well within the rules. So I appreciate a competitor that's doing that, being that diligent on trying to be within the rules. That can't beat that. So you think you're going to be Super Street X this year a lot, huh, Wyatt?
Yeah, I had some guys last year that they're already in Super Street X because they had a wood roof all the way to the windshield, and then I had a couple other guys that had some pretty loud builds, and their roofs were just tearing apart. Couple guys that they're really, really nice looking trucks. They take them to car shows. They're painted really nice.
Oh, yeah.
And they're starting to tear, right? And so he's like, I got to do something. So he was already in Super Street 5 Plus, I believe, last year. And he's like, you know what? Next year I'm just going to do Super Street X, and that way I can do the wood roof and I don't destroy my truck. And so I mean, last year I think I had almost a full bracket of Super Street X every show.
Oh,
just because of that. So quite a few guys, and some guys that weren't. They were in the 140 range, right?
Yeah.
Because unfortunately they were there because, they had some stuff done that
missing panels or still building or something like that.
Yep.
Jeffrey, speaking of tearing apart cars, I mean, did you notice Moses Martinez's door? He ripped apart his door on his way to the Autorama.
Where, on the outside? Or
no, on the inside.
The door panel.
No, the door itself. So right where you have the door and the window meet, in that corner, it just sheared the pillar, where the window, where it gets thin and then goes around the top. It just sheared that section. So it was flopping there, and that's why he had so many people holding it.
Are we sure though it was from the base?
It was.
Because he likes to rock out when he's inside the car. He does these, and he's doing that, and we don't know if that's what it was. So.
All right, let's see if I can. Oh, Wyatt pulled it up. Justin was asking, was the current 10K OG world record? Asking for a friend. 153.5. Who is that, Wyatt? Since you have it up, apparently.
DB Life Isaiah.
Oh, that's right. Isaiah did that at Autorama. Young kid. I think he's like 17. He comes out there with his dad and his uncle, and they do DB Life as a lifestyle brand of clothing that they sell. And they attend quite a few shows, and they come out, they do base race, top dog, and so he tried out the OG this last year. He's like, oh wait, I can do that. And he took it away from Kayla. So Kayla was there. And I think she was like 153.1 was the previous record. So he beat it by a few tenths. And she was struggling. She actually blew, she blew her amps or her subs or something at the show. So she was struggling mightily at that event. So, but she had a good time even afterwards, huh, Jeff?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, she's, when we had her on the show, you could just see, how she is, and when she competes, she's absolutely wants to have fun, no matter if she's winning or not winning. So that's exactly who she was in person as well. So
yeah, and like I said, her and her husband. I thought I saw her husband in here earlier, so he piped in right off the get. I think no, that wasn't Kayla's husband. It was the other lady who competed. What was
Brandy?
her name? Not Brandy.
No. It was the same name, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. It was Kayla,
Yeah, she
but it
had the
was
same name.
but it was Kayla James or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's like two friends. They both had the same name. but
Right.
They're both competing in DV track.
Yes.
A little confusing.
Yeah. Here, I'll tell you. Oh, Kayla Bruce.
Ah, there we go. There we
Kayla
go.
Bruce.
Thanks, Brandy.
Her husband was in here. So earlier, Josh Bruce. Josh, another guy. He's all, man. I just love the competing. It's a great time. Oh yeah, there's Brandy piping in with this. And then she tagged Josh. Josh is already in here. And there's Kayla. Yeah, people corrected me quite quickly. That's fine. And that was the other thing too. We had 4 women competing at Autorama. So we had 109 entries, and I think it was 4 women, and I think total they were worth 8 entries total of the 109. So, but I mean, it's not a significant amount, obviously, but it's better than what you typically have. I mean, how many women do you have competing in your air, Jeff?
I think just one.
Okay.
I could think offhand, and it's and she used to just come to the shows with Julius.
Yeah.
And then she, wanted to try.
Oh, is this
her hand in it.
Queenie or
No.
Oh, okay.
Renee. Her name is Renee.
Okay. Because
But she came first just as a spectator, which I'm sure a lot of the female competitors in your area
yes
did. They
absolutely.
had their significant other as the one competing, and they're like, hey, I could do this, and force them to do it, or they do it on their own because they see it's so much fun that hey, we're starting to see this growth in female competitors again, so that's always good.
Yeah. How about you, Wyatte? You got many female competitors out in your area?
Nope.
No. Not even a hard one.
Significant others. That's it. It's a very supportive significant others, but yeah.
It's hard to do this without them.
We do have. I know Jennifer drives down all the way from Minnesota. I think it's like a 4 or 5 hour drive for them to get down here. She's probably. I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure she's the only one. Yeah, when she makes that drive down here.
Dave Bradshaw popping in. Dave, if you have any questions about rules and whatnot, he tries to help out with getting people in the lanes and understanding what classes. He's used to be the leader of Team Send It. He was the one we always gave crap to about this, Lucky and I. But now he is stepped back. He's got a lot of things going on with his new position at his job. His mother's passing created, the headaches along with that. So he's got to work all that stuff. So he actually has Julio, which is Team Send It Chivo. It has took over the president role, but Dave is, like I said, he's behind the scenes. He's still a strong driver in on Team Send It, but he definitely does it. Oh, here you go. Andrew says it's Team Voodoo Customs Amber.
Right. Yeah. You know what? I haven't seen her at the last couple of shows, but yeah, I forgot. Sorry about that. Amber, is a competitor as well. She does the Super Street 3 to 4 class, and
Josh Tatu out of Reno, he wants to start doing 1X shows. Josh, if you have any questions, now's a great time to ask. Maybe a judging question or a setup question. Speaking of which, so Wyatte, why don't you kind of go over your setup with us? How you set up your shows and whatnot?
Yeah, so I try to keep mine fairly simple. I don't pull them in the trailer. This year I have a pickup truck, so a little more room, but I used to fit it all in a Jeep Grand Cherokee. So my canopy tent, my DV drag canopy tent, couple tables.
Do you have the 10 by 10 or the 10 by 20?
10 by 10.
Okay.
Yep. And then, usually I just do one computer screen. So Jeremy Weber had made me this little box that sits on my table. So my TV bolts to it so that it doesn't fall off. My term lapse sits underneath the TV. And then I can put my laptop up on it.
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of, at that height. And then just two speakers on the side, really. So, they aren't super loud. I do have a hard time when all the demo guys are going crazy. We have some guys with stunt walls here. No one can really hear me, so sometimes I'll be running around the parking lot or calling their cell phone to try to get guys to come up. But yeah, keep it pretty simple overall. I mean, you don't have to get super crazy. It is nice, like when you guys have your extra screens on the sides for the base race guys. That's the one area where I got to change something down, because I know my base race guys will pull up right. Depending on how the sun's hitting the TV, they can't see it. And so if you have one for each lane kind of off to the side that they can see, that definitely helps. When I've seen like you and Jeremy Kramer and, Jeff and Andy doing shows and stuff, having those extra TVs definitely helps.
Dave Bradshaw wants to know, where are you located? That's you, Wyatte. He knows the rest of us.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, I'm in Wisconsin, just north of Madison.
Okay. And he goes, oh, I see him. It's a DB drag taco truck. Is that on your profile or something?
I have no idea.
Hey, Calvin says, those damn demo guys. Hey, Jeffrey, you want to explain to Wyatte my policy on people not hearing me at my shows? Yeah, when I call somebody to the lanes and they don't hear me.
You DQ them? I don't know.
No. I give them a 2-minute countdown.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And
I
guess
do
what?
that as well.
When you start doing that, magically people start hearing you. It's really awesome. And like I said, but I know you don't do it, but I go live at all my events. So at my events, you can literally go on Facebook, and if you're in an area you can't hear me or something's going on, you can throw it live on your phone and go, hey, oh shit, because I call up the next 3 guys, right? So I call on person in the lane, on deck, and in the hole. He says you have a trailer, right? He's inside the trailer. Oh, that's not Wyatte. No, absolutely not. Dave, he does not have a trailer. Yeah, Josh mentions my 2 minutes. Yep. I mean, literally, Julio was right next to my tent. I'm like, Julio. And I see his car over there. I go, all right. You got 2 minutes to get in the lanes. And he's like, I'm not in my car. Now you have a minute and 40 seconds. All right. Down to a minute and 30 seconds. So Justin says, just the mic doesn't sound good. Can barely hear you online. I think I got it better with the last show. And I know
last show was a lot better.
Yeah, and I've got it figured out how to do that now. So Alonzo is asking, how did your bowling game go? If he's talking about last week, I only made like $1,100. I was shooting for 3, only made 11. That's for purely entertainment purposes only if the IRS is listening.
And that's why you can afford all those TVs.
Yeah, at $30 a piece, yeah. So anyway, yeah, so I mean, I called him, and all of a sudden, oh, I'm coming! And the next thing you know, hey, his car is right around in time. Weird. Oh, yes, Josh Tattoo says he did get a trailer that he mounts the TV screens on. So he actually has a toy hauler, and he kind of turned it into a DB drag trailer-ish. And he's going to start running some 1Xs up in Reno to help guys in Reno get points, and so that they understand DB drag and the and base race, top dog, cyclone better.
Yeah, I was trying to think of who else has a trailer. So I did a show 2 years ago in Michigan with Mecca.
Oh,
and
okay.
I don't know who actually owned the trailer, if it was the Mecca org themselves or a specific judge, but that was kind of like that taco trailer setup thing, right? So they had like the big doors they opened up and then mounted their TVs outside. So I don't know if that's maybe what people are thinking of as well. But I was trying to think, the only other DB drag judge I can think of is, Jeremy Kramer has a big trailer, but he unloads
doesn't.
everything out of
Yes.
it, right? He doesn't do it in it.
So I don't know if you know Steve Benton or Steve Benton. We had him on our World Finals last year show. Oh wait, Fred, I don't DQ anybody. I run the meter and it's not in their car, so they're not going to be loud. So that's what I do. So they're just going to get a crappy score. I don't DQ anybody. If you made it to the show, you paid your entry fee, you aren't getting DQ'd.
And Fred will tell you, I mean, when he attends, my events, I'll do whatever to look for them.
Yes.
I'll go up and down the parking lot. Sometimes I'll bring my hoverboard with me. I'll get on my hoverboard and go through each of the cars and, hey, you're up. But
and it's really hard to do that when you have 65, 70 entries at a show.
Yeah.
It's just so difficult to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Benton, he actually took like one of the pull behind campers, cut a hole in it like a taco truck one, and then so you opened it up, and when you opened it up, then you had the light trees on the side that swung down and went sideways, and before he opened it up, he put the checkered flags in it and DB drag banner, and when he lifted it up, then now you have these banners and these flags and all that other stuff. It was kind of cool. And he also had a bed in there, so when he was traveling to his shows, he would actually sleep inside of his travel trailer. And he wouldn't even go outside. He would have helpers that would do the mic monkey and that, and he would just stay and do his announcing and everything and run the computer from inside the trailer. So it was actually pretty cool.
Smart.
Brad just says, yes, someone has a trailer that they are in. It's self-contained with the TVs outside. I like that setup. Plug and play judging. The problem with that, Dave, is somebody's got to get out and put the mics and the clamps and stuff on the cars. And it's very difficult to do on a plug and play setup. Mine is fairly simple. It's just the tent with the towers, a couple of TVs. It's not super fancy. For World Finals, we build a stage, and then everything goes on top of the stage, which makes it look a lot nicer. Jeffrey, why don't you tell us about yours?
Basically, it's just a tent, table, multiple monitors sometimes, maybe just one big one, speakers, PA system. It's not really a lot of people think there's a lot that goes into it.
Yep. Especially if you want to just be a 1X event promoter in your area. You don't even have to have a DB drag tent. It could be a simple white tent, right? You just have to get the DB drag banners, right? Because there's a banner requirement.
Exactly. You need to have at least one banner has DB drag on it.
Have to use the term lab.
I have the DB drag racing tent. It's DB drag. I got panels on it, side panels. But it doesn't have to be all crazy. Now, Andy, on the other hand, Boom Audio Competitions, Andy, he has one of the old Kenwood towers. Now, this goes way back when, maybe early 2000s.
Even before that, late 90s.
Late 90s.
Yes.
So Kenwood, I guess they did a tour of shows. They had this big tower. I wonder who, I think Sam Horn had one.
Sam Horn had two.
Yeah.
Dave, and then Dave McLean had one down in Florida. He bought them from them.
So Andy bought one of the Kenwood towers. He did some welding to it where it's essentially, so it's a tower standing up, and when he's done with the show, or before the show, he tilts it, and then he has wheels on it, and it goes in the trailer, out the trailer, and sometimes he enlists the help of a couple of guys to help lift up the tower. But that's plug and play. It's got two monitors already set up, lane 1 and lane 2, and he just sets up his tent right beside it. Now, granted, he doesn't take it out every show, but that's a pretty crazy setup. If you guys haven't seen it, check it out.
How long does it take him to set up?
It used to be when it used to be in pieces when he first bought it.
Mm-hmm.
He said anywhere from like an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Ooh.
That was before he welded a bunch of key parts, and then now it's just roll it in the trailer, roll it out, and then prop it up, and he's good to go.
Okay. Let's see here. Josh T.W.I.C.A was asking, what do you guys give for first, second, and third place trophies?
Like, what is he?
What sizes, or do you guys special awards? Do you give out first, second, and third place trophies? Do you give out awards? What do you guys do?
I guess maybe that's a good part. There's really no requirement.
There isn't.
But it's kind of, you might have to kind of feel it out, and
What do you do at your shows, Jeffrey?
It depends. I kind of put that on the sponsor.
Okay.
We have pricing packages where they can get a 1X show that, like this past 1X event that we had near Austin. It was a 1X certificate event. Mm-hmm. So we printed up personalized certificates. We used to put them in frames, but then a lot of people would drop them, and then he would just break everywhere. So we ended up getting a laminator. So we put them in the laminator. What's really good about these certificates is it's personalized. They have the competitor's name, they have
their
the
score, their place, the location.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. So it could be something like that. You don't have to have these 2-tier triple column trophies to give out at every show. It could be certificates, but I normally put it on the sponsor of the event. Hey, we could do this top tier package 3X, these really big trophies. I mean, that's up to you guys if you want to do that. Otherwise, we could just do certificates. We could do first place trophies, and then certificates for second and third, or just being able to have that option available to the sponsors is kind of a plus as well.
Yeah. So Josh T2 asks, Doug, can we print the certificates? If you have the Event Promoter Pro package, which is required for the to host a 1X DB Drag event, then yes, you can print them from the program. And if you go to somebody's show and you want the printout of what Jeffrey's talking about, you can actually go to the website and print out your own certificate from the website if you prefer. Dave says he loves the acrylic ones, cheaper and look cool. So here's the issue with acrylic trophies is you have to etch them and they become specific to an event. So if you have any trophies left over, they are now trash. If you do printed certificates, you never have anything left over. If you do trophies like I do, you can take them to the next show, and if you have extra left over, and it helps in lowering your overall cost, especially when you do, I mean, I'm doing, 17 shows a year. The cost in trophies, for anybody that doesn't know, at my events, a 1X trophy is 29 inches tall for first, 23, I think, for second, and 18 for third. So if you take that and you go to your local shop, like if you were to come to my trophy shop, I charge you $1.30 a linear inch. So for a 30-inch trophy, that's that's $30 plus another 30 times 30 cents. So another $99. So it's going to cost you $39 roughly for that one trophy. Now, the label that you're going to put on it, I'm going to charge you another $1.25 for that label. So now you're $40.50 roughly into one trophy, and I provide 34 trophies for an event. So add that up times how many people, and I do a deal at my shows where the shop pays $100 sanctioning fee and then $400 for the 1X trophies, and that provides all the trophies for the show, which is a smoking deal when you look at the size of trophies I bring to the event. And really, the trophies aren't for the seasoned veterans because they have plenty of trophies. It's for that guy that's his first time ever at a show, and he comes. And I mean, look at the trophies we had for Autorama, right? 4 foot for first, 3 foot for second. Just freaking huge, great trophies. So, and it's not about the competitor. Dave says he charges by the inch also, but maxes out at 4. We believe that, Dave. If somebody tells you the truth, don't deny it. He suggests just etch the class and place with all the DB Drag logos. The problem with etching the class is we have, 19 different classes?
Yeah.
So it's easier. You can do, possibly would be say, these are DB Drag, first, second, and third. These are base race, first, second, third. These are top dog, first, second, third. But if you put the classes on them, once again, you're going to be stuck with trophies that you won't use because you don't fill all the classes at a show. And, Wyatte, why don't you tell us, like, a typical show for you is how many entries?
So I do a lot fewer shows than you guys do per year, right? Our season is shrunk a little bit. And then, just with availability and stuff. So like this year, I'll only have 5 or 6 shows.
Yeah, and how many entries will you get per show?
I usually do over 100, and not 100 unique, but I'll have over 100 entries for a day.
Per show?
Yep.
Oh, cool.
So toward the end of last year, one of our last shows, I think I had just under 70 unique entries.
Dang.
So like for my trophies, I have to get 21st, 16 seconds, and 12 thirds. That pretty much covers me. Okay. I've only had one show where I've ran, I think, one short on first, right? Because depending on how people land in the classes and everything,
right.
I don't even have them down by like, this is DB Drag, this is base race. I just do like the name of the show and the sponsors, and if there's a name for the event, right?
Yep.
And I go through Jeremy Weber. I do the acrylic ones. I get them at a good price. So for me, it's way cheaper and easier for me to do the acrylic ones. I normally don't have shows where I'm going like crazy with trophies, right? Mm-hmm. It is nice to have the bigger trophies, right? To have those and show up and, people are like, oh man, look at, this big trophy I won.
Right.
But then I also have the guys where you give them a big trophy and then they got this tiny walled car and it's him and his girlfriend. And he's like, how the hell am I going to fit this in here? And get,
Yeah. I mean, like Josh Tattoo says he took 6 of the 4-footers home this weekend. If he didn't have a truck, where was he going to stick those?
Yeah. He had a truck. Right.
So here for me, I'll speak for me. Justin asked, what would a 1X show with certificates instead of trophies cost for like a school sports program fundraiser and car show type thing? So for something like that, I charge the $100 for the sanctioning fee, and then we work out the entry fees for however we work them out. And it depends on where it's located. I mean, if it's, within an hour of my house, probably not going to charge them hardly anything at all. If I'm driving up to Reading, well, that's 4 hours there, 4 hours back, freaking 2 tanks of gas. I've got to cover at least my cost. So that's what I do. What about you, Jeff?
I don't like to talk numbers.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm just kidding. Wow, I think it's, it's going to have to depend on a bunch of things. Definitely the sanctioning fee is something that has to get covered no matter what. Mm-hmm. And then basically, if you want an event, I remember having a show for this one sponsor in SoCal. They were kind of getting him on the awards he was handing out, and he said it in Spanish and it sounded kind of funny, but he said that he was poor, that he couldn't, come up with the big trophies. But, I think, you know, it doesn't really matter so much as the size of the trophy. I think one of my first trophies was the Circuit City ones. And they weren't that big. I think it was like an acrylic glass, and I think it was just a plate that was etched. But I remember the Rockford Fosgate shows that I used to do. There was like a whole series. They gave out this it was like this glass. I don't know. It was kind of cool. They had plates and it was all etched out. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so it we make it available for whatever your budget level is. And I was just kind of looking through my phone. I recall this is what I used to use, and what Celise had done. I'm not sure if it's available to the public, but it's entitled The Judge's Guide. It used to be called The Judge's Handbook.
Mm-hmm.
It's what I utilized a while back. Um, but if anybody wants, like Josh, if he needs it, hit me up. I'll see if I can. I think it's on PDF. I could, forward it to you, or Doug could do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it gives you like an introduction, multi-point certification, equipment required on here,
Mm-hmm.
event registration. Yeah, a lot of cool information.
Yep.
Definitely.
Uh,
So if he's interested, we have a link to this PDF.
okay. So Cal, your favorite fun troll, says fun fact for the day: Jeffrey can't give out trophies over 3 foot
Oh,
because they're taller than him.
Well, Cal, if you go to the next show we have in Bloomington, there's going to be, I think this like 5 foot trophies. So, man, we'll have you give them out.
Dave Bradshaw says you can rent Jeffrey to model on wedding cakes if you need to.
Hey, I'm pretty expensive though.
He is expensive, but he will model whatever you need. All right, guys. Well, we ran into the hour. I'm going to go and see if there's any old guys at the bowling alley since bowling's over. But we got some pot games brewing, I think, at the local bowling alley. And let's see if I can take me some more. I actually talked to one of the senior guys. He heard around town that I was saying I beat him last year. So I've had the highest average in this league for 3 seasons now. And I'm not going to discuss what that number is because I don't need certain people to know, and they may find out. So, with that being said, so I beat him last year for the first time, and he came up to me yesterday at the bowling alley and goes, you didn't beat me. I said, well, yeah, I was 5 pins higher than you. And he goes, yeah, but I quit 6 weeks into 6 weeks left in the season. I go, okay. Still, we bowled 24 weeks and I was higher than you. He goes, that doesn't count. And so he actually took my doubles partner because in bowling, it helps if you have somebody that bowls with you that can help break down the lane and make it easier to bowl on. And so he stole my doubles partner that was helping me break down the lane so it could help him break down the lane and make it easier for him to bowl. So I got some work to do because I'm going to have to do double duty to kick his ass this year.
Yeah, you got to make some money for some TVs.
I do. I mean, shoot, TV Drag ain't paying me enough. All right, Wyatt, any last words? Any other thing?
Nope.
Show?
Nope. You guys have shows coming up closer than I do, but just plug, anyone around the Wisconsin area. The first show of the year
May 20th.
is going to be a 3X on May 20th. So, hopefully get, people from Illinois, anyone from Michigan that is starting to need points for the season. It's going to be a 3X, so good opportunity to get a jump start on your points for the year. And yeah, May 20th, I've got the event out on my page and posted in the Wisconsin Car Audio group. So address and stuff is on there. So
On the Turn Pro calendar also?
it is on the Turn Pro calendar. Yep.
All right, cool. Jeffrey, what you got going on?
This Saturday, you
Don't
can
forget
see the
about the
flyer.
13th.
Yes, yes. I don't want to forget about that. So this Saturday, the 13th, you can see the flyer just right over my shoulder here. It's a De Los Santos Memorial Car Audio Show. It's to honor his late son for Steve De Los Santos, who's a member of Team Voodoo Customs, who's the sponsor of the 3X event going on this Saturday. But he wanted me to let everybody know that there's going to be food vendors there, Hot Box Barbecue. He's a regular. I think he's actually Fred's son, who does award-winning barbecue. He comes around and provides everybody with barbecue. He also wanted me to let you guys know that there's going to be snow cones available. There's going to be tacos from what he's telling me. It's a place called Walking Tacos. It's a popular place out here. And on top of that, he's going to add bonus money on top of Win Rogers money. So he's going to put some money on top of that for base race and Top Dog. He's going to have giveaways, raffles, you name it. It's all going down this Saturday here in Grapevine, Texas. Check out dbdragracing.com on the calendar for all the event details.
There you go. And obviously, you got Bloomington coming up after that on the 20th.
Yes.
So.
Can you believe I was at your show the end of April, and then the following week I was down in Austin, and then this week I got Grapevine, and then the following week I'm going to be in Bloomington, California. Man, wow.
You're
getting tired.
You're a country traveler there, son.
Have meter will travel.
That's right. He's getting all his airline mileage in.
Yes.
Anyway, and for me, I will be at Jay's Alarms. He likes to give away money for the death match. He hasn't come on discussed any of that as of yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if he threw some money at the death match again. Man, Calvin with the jokes. Anyway, so Jay's Alarms this Friday night on the 12th. 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock brackets. Please don't be late because I got to get home afterwards, and that's like a 3.5, 4-hour drive for me. Wow. So, yeah, Jeffrey was really surprised at Autorama. He goes, man, you live further than I thought.
Yeah, when I was asking you, so what are you going to do between Saturday and Sunday? Are you going to get a room out there? And when you told me, oh, no, I'm just going to go home, I thought you lived like down the street or something.
I am down the street.
About an hour and a half.
Hour and 10 minutes. It's right down the street. Come on. So anyway, but yeah, let's see a lot of people out there Friday, Fresno. I know Moses is going to be out there. He's pushing as many people as he can to get out there. Oh, and for you guys that didn't see, hopefully you saw the pictures. Gave out Moses's Sonic FX Points Champion Award, which was an embroidered hoodie, which looked really cool, I thought. And so yeah, so we gave that out to Moses at Autorama again this year. So I tend to give that award out at Autorama every year. But hopefully we'll see you guys out there Friday, the 12th. And then after that, I got the 20th in Reno. The same time as your 3X down in Bloomington. But there's, 10-hour drive difference between the two places. So I do know some people that are going to head down there instead of Reno just because they want to go to the 3X points, which is cool. You'll never hear me tell anybody not to go to a different comp, but anyway,
there's
like I said,
plenty of shows during the season, so
especially in California, right?
Yeah, especially in California.
I'll never stop you from going to another organization. Won't even suggest you don't go to another organization. It's a place that's going to have a lot of fun, and it may fit you better than DB Drag. I doubt it, but it may. And I like to say at any time, hey, come to my show. And if I am not giving you a good time and you aren't enjoying being at my show, then maybe those other organizations are better for you. But I think with all things being equal, if you attend my show and then another show from another organization, you're going to find you're going to have a lot more fun in the DB drag formats. I just think in my opinion, we have the best formats out there for car audio. Other than, I would say, bass boxing has got a very good format. I do enjoy that format also. But outside of bass boxing, the other formats that are out there, I think DB drag is hands down a more enjoyable format because of the head-to-head. So,
And it's about uplifting the whole
Yeah.
basehead community
Yeah.
in a whole. I mean, if do what you like, do what you love,
Absolutely.
do what you love to do. If you're like, if you like kick scores or
Yep.
port scores, there's something for you.
Mm-hmm.
If it's in a different organization, I mean, it'd be cool if you guys were to do DB drag, but that's not what we're all about. We're not about pushing you just to do one organization. It's just about uplifting the whole basehead community as a whole.
Yep.
That's all.
Because I truly think the more people participate, the stronger the community becomes. Whether it be us, Mecca, IASCA, USAC, whatever, NSPL, whatever other ones there are. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully, after Wyatt's 3X next month, the end of this month, and Jeffrey has his 3X, we may have more questions or stuff about the rules. So we'll be here again next month. We want to continue to do this every month because I think it's a good way for the competitors to meet the judges, and if they have questions, it's an opportunity for you guys to ask. I mean, seriously, like questions like how do we set up? How do we decide what venues to use? That kind of thing. We're here to help you guys out so that you understand what we're looking for, and possibly if you guys want to become a judge and there's no judges in your area, then you can join our ranks and become a certified judge like the rest of us. I mean, Wyatte did it, 3 years ago now?
Yep.
Yeah. So, and wise decision on your end, Wyatte?
Yeah, I'd say so. It's been a good time.
Yeah. And him and his wife come out to World Finals every year and compete and help with the competition on running as a judge. So that's all.
We got
all
a
that's
success
great.
story here.
Yeah.
You too could be a judge and get your 4X status in 3 years.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Once again, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week. I'm not sure who we're going to have on. We could potentially, let's see what happens with your 3X this weekend. And then make a decision on whether we want to do somebody from your 3X, Jeffrey, or if we want to bring on JY Power, Travis, and have him talk more about those sodium-ion batteries that he has out. So
That's cool too.
Yeah. So we'll make a decision as the week goes on and see where we sit. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. We will be back again on next week at 5:30 California time, the only time that matters. Remember to support those who support the things that you like. Support the ones that support us. We got Crossfire Car Audio and Puns Customs. Please support them and show them the love that they showed us for supporting our show. If you'd like to be a supporter of our show, once again, just contact Jeffrey or myself in instant message or private message or whatever, and we will get the paperwork to you to have a discussion with you on the fees and whatnot to help us pay for the minor things that we got to pay for in doing this show. But once again, thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you next week on This Week in Car Audio. Peace.
Whoa, whoa,